Good evening, good evening, everyone. We are live here with the Boston Independent Drivers Guild. Just to give you guys just a little history about BIDG. So BIDG, we have one of the founding members here. The Boston Independent Drivers Guild was started in 2018 because a group of drivers were just sick of kind of like unfair things, how they were being treated. And so they decided to get together and do something about it. And they noticed, they did have, some gripes, but they also realized how much that they had in common with each other. And that, together, we are stronger. And so our mission is to help the drivers with deactivations, help the drivers fight for better treatment, higher wages, and we do have a good meeting for you in store tonight. So on our agenda, we have member updates, we have drivers anonymous. That's the second thing on our agenda, and we will tell you a little bit more about that. And we also want to talk about the momentum that we've been having with other organizing groups and community groups in the state. And we want to talk about the mask not for sale and the endorsement of our Washington Senator, Ayanna Pressley. And we also want to talk about there's an opportunity for drivers' voices to be heard about this ballot question and really what Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash and Amazon aren't telling you about this ballot question, but there's a way for your voice to be heard. On March 30th, we are looking for drivers to testify and let your elected officials know how you feel. I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves. So, who wants to go first and introduce themselves?
I'll go first. Hi guys, it's Felipe Martinez, rideshare driver since 2018. Uh, hope this is, we can get a lot of people on here to view the live stream. Boston Independent Drivers Guild, we're helping other rideshare drivers, and hopefully we can get you involved in some capacity. How about Steve Levine? Hi Steve, how are you? I think he's working. Why don't we do Dave? Go ahead, Dave.
Hi, this is Dave. I've been with BIGG for quite a while, and I've been driving almost 5 years for Lyft, trying to get drivers organized. Been helping out in BIDG for basically trying to help people. Not really great at public speaking anyway. I live in Cape Cod, and I think Beth and Philippi have been doing a really good job out here. So, and we can only go up and hopefully get better benefits for all the drivers. Thank you.
Beth, you're on mute. You're on mute, Beth. You're on mute.
Oh, thank you so much. Let me unmute myself. So, Steve is a veteran driver. He has been at the forefront fighting for drivers. He's been a veteran driver at least 7 or 8 years. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, Steve. And he is the go-to guru on all news rideshare happening in the state, in the country, and in the world. So he always keeps us up to date on our current events, and for that we are thankful. He's actually doing some gig work right now. That's a hardworking man right there. And so let us get started. So actually, I'm happy to report we actually added in the last couple of weeks over 250 members to our ranks. So now we have around 2,600 drivers, supporters who are getting involved. They're on our newsletter mailing list, and they really care about the action that's going on. A lot of the drivers didn't know about what's been going on. However, we're getting the word out, and we just find it, really, really, really important to get the word out, to let the drivers know what's happening, because this isn't only, going to affect drivers, what's going on in the state with these bills and this ballot question. They're also trying to do this to all categories of work. They're trying to Uberize all categories of work. And so we just find it, this is really important. And just excuse me if I seem to be a little preoccupied. I am just I'm sharing this live stream, in all of these groups, just to get the word out. So I'm almost done. I think I just have one or two more places. Okay. So now you guys have my undivided attention. And so we did the first thing, member updates. And I just want to say thank you as well, too. And if any of you who follow the Boston Independent Drivers Guild page, if you could please do us a favor. And if you have liked our page, we're at Drive BIDG on Facebook. So if you could do us a favor, like our page, and then invite all of your friends and your Facebook friends to like our page too. That is extremely helpful. And also Massachusetts Not For Sale. That will help us get the word out and help us keep more drivers informed. And, even if you have drivers that that speak Arabic or speak Spanish or only understand and Portuguese, we have people that can communicate with them in their language, because we don't, even Haitian Creole, we don't want any drivers to be left out or feel left out. We are here for each and every one of you. And so does anyone have anything to add about that particular topic? Okay, going once, going twice. I guess not. So we want to respect everyone's time. So we'll head over to the next topic, which is actually Drivers Anonymous. And I know how it sounds, but it's kind of not how it sounds. It's a great thing. I can guarantee you it really is. And so I've been a part of Drivers Anonymous, and I know a couple of other people have been a part of Drivers Anonymous. Does anyone want to share their experience with that? And I could just give you a short explanation of what it is. So Drivers Anonymous, we know that a lot of drivers, they don't like what's going on with Uber and Lyft and big tech. However, there's a group, there's a safe space. You can sign up and you get to share your thoughts, your feelings anonymously with other drivers. And, it's not recorded. You don't have to show your face if you don't feel comfortable with that. And it's a place where you can anonymously voice your concerns and how you feel about being a gig worker. So I'm going to turn it over to someone else that has actually participated in it. So if anyone else wants to go and just tell people what your experience is with Drivers Anonymous.
Yeah, I think it's a great group. And anybody can go on there and talk about their gripes, and anonymously. It's not recorded. It's just drivers helping each other and seeing how we can go through certain things, see how we can do certain, and that's it. I think it's a great way for drivers to get to know other drivers and see how we can help each other. You're muted again, Beth. We can't hear you. You're muted again.
I keep on muting myself. So I was just asking, was Steve able to attend any of the sessions? I know that I was able to go. It's a great experience, especially, sometimes as drivers, we're very isolated. There's over 300,000 of us gig workers in the state that are doing Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Amazon Flex. And sometimes it's just good just to be able to meet another driver, know you're not alone, know that you're going through the same things and you have to deal with the same challenges that other drivers have to deal with. And it meets every other Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And it's really, really, really great. I met some pretty cool people there. We share stories, we share ideas. And so if anyone Steve, you have anything to add to that? Are you able to talk? Or are you tied up? Okay, so I guess Steve is
I'm
tied
having
up.
technical difficulties.
Oh, you haven't? You can
really
still talk.
echoey.
Oh, I mean, we can't see your face, but we can hear you.
Yeah, it's really echoey for me. I don't know if it's coming in just messed up or what, but I can't. I don't know.
Okay, we still wanna see. Let's try to get Dave. Dave, were you able to go to attend a Drivers Anonymous session? What did you think about it? And what did you like most about it?
Is this something that's renamed, or the Drivers Anonymous with Terry?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
group.
I thought it was pretty informative. I really enjoyed it. I've it was only one time we had a meeting, so there's more to be done, but I learned a few things, so it was pretty good.
Awesome. And so now, we're just going to move on to our next topic. And so we want to talk about mass not for sale. So that's part of the coalition we're a part of, Massachusetts Not for Sale, aka Mass Not for Sale. And so we had a big turnout. It was supposed to be in Nubian Square, aka the old Dudley Square. However, due to inclement weather, we had to move it indoors. And so it ended up being in East Boston. And it was still, I'm not even going to lie, it was a hella awesome turnout. I just want to show we were able to live stream the event. I'm just trying to pull up some pictures for you guys. We had Senator, I think she's state rep Lydia Edwards, if I'm not mistaken. And we had Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley there. And I was able to speak and I just got really emotional, especially since, March is Women's History Month. And it was just really powerful. There's a lot of people on our side. And I just want to share something. I'm going to share my screen really quickly with you all, just to, so let's see. So this was when Senator Senator Pressley spoke, and she was really powerful. Dave, I know you were able to make it. Dave is a trooper. This is how dedicated the drivers we have in this fight are. Dave drove all the way from the Cape to Dedham to pick me up, and then all the way to East Boston. And we got there early. And we got a nice parking space, didn't we, Dave? So I don't know if you want to comment about your experience with Massachusetts Mass Not for Sale and with Ayanna Pressley giving her endorsement. What did you think about it, Dave? I don't know. I think you might have to unmute yourself because you're muted. So
Are you talking to me?
No, we talk. Oh, you could talk about your experience. Definitely. You were there. We want you to talk about your experience too.
Oh, about the meet and greet down in East Boston?
Yes.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I brought her friend with me because she had gotten fired from a job about 2 weeks ago, and I was trying to explain to her just how powerful your labor rights are when you learn them. And once you join the movement, you learn that there's more power when you're together than you are alone. And when you fight together, you win together. So it was very powerful. She loved it, and although my friend isn't a driver with us, but she was inspired. So it was very welcoming. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
It's great to have this new alliance, because
Yeah. So I mean, this is Mimi. Definitely. This is Mimi Ramos right here. And she just has a heart of gold. She's an executive director for New England for Justice. And she helps a lot of Black and brown workers that this Prop 22 is going to adversely affect. And that's me over there with the bling bling mask. I like to wear my blingy hats. It's kind of like my signature style. And it was just a very moving experience for me. And I actually had the opportunity to speak as well. I was really nervous. But, it's just great that people in the community support us. Our legislators support us. And they're really not for the drivers being exploited. They're not for that. They're really not for that. And what was really powerful for me is this woman right here, Karen Maxwell. And she's the secretary of the Boston Carmen's Union Local 589. And what she equated some of our experiences to was actually what she called mobile sharecropping. And I found that to be really powerful. Because as some of you know, unless you want to, if you're open to share your story, but some of us drivers, we rent a car, whether through Uber or whether through Lyft. And I know with Lyft, you're paid less money and you don't get paid a cent until that rental is paid off. And so Senator Edwards talked about when she was working in a housing office, how a rideshare driver came into her office and they were just in a rat race on a never-ending cycle, and their check was negative from Uber or Lyft because they weren't even able to make enough money to pay for their rental. And that was something that was really, 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 really powerful for me. And I've never been in that predicament where I had to rent a vehicle through Uber or Lyft. But I wouldn't want anyone that I know to have to go through that, where you're in the negative because, these corporations, we know they're making billions of dollars, and some of our drivers aren't making it. I see each and every one of you drivers as hardworking people, And a lot of our drivers, very hardworking people, very proud people, very industrious people. There's some of them are working 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week, trying to provide for their families here and back home. And, they have to get food stamps. They have, they're on Medicaid, they're on Mass Health, or their kids are on that. Their kids are getting free and reduced price lunch. They're in affordable housing, they're in subsidized housing. I remember a driver shared with me, I actually helped a driver, helping drivers fill out raft applications because of COVID. They couldn't afford their rent, referring drivers to shelters because they got their car repossessed, they got their luxury SUV repossessed during the pandemic, and unemployment just wasn't cutting it to be able to pay their rent and pay their car note too. So we've been here for the drivers, helping them out, going to Felipe has gone to the Uber office with drivers before. Felipe has gone, to state police office with drivers before. We've all been here for the drivers, and, we're here for you. We just, we don't want it to get worse before, we don't want it to get worse. And that's why politicians like Senator Edwards and Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley are in this fight. And so does anyone have anything they want to say about that? I don't know if, Dave, you can speak about renting a car or any experiences.
Yeah, if you
I rented a car for 2 months, and it cost me $2,000 for those 2 months.
Yeah, it's not easy. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, it's been costing quite a bit of money to rent. I've very seldom, it cost me at least $300 a week, so $350 a week, and it's like I don't make as much, and the bonuses are getting more to be cumulative than so much per ride. So they're changing the bonuses all around on Lyft. Primarily, you're relying on tips to get anything. With Lyft, you hardly get any tips. And the only way to really make a little bit of money is to do some DoorDash or something like that, because you can actually go out and make some money with that. But it's tight, it takes a while. And Stephen, can you mute yourself, please? Or
It's me.
Philippi? Thank you.
Sorry.
If you go out and you're actually, sometimes you have to shop, and sometimes the car doesn't go through for DoorDash, and you pull up money out of your pocket to be able to keep things moving. So it gets frustrating. It really does. But hopefully my situation will change with the rental pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
And the fuel surcharge being as low as it is, it should be added to the per mile rate that these companies are paying you. Because at 55 cents per ride, you're losing money ridiculously. And drivers who understand this and know this and drive professionally for a living other than rideshare, like me, I do a commercial truck driving. Dave does commercial driving himself, and there are many, many other people who own and operate transportation companies. They all know and understand these fuel surcharges, and they know that these are ridiculous. They're insulting.
Dave, you just spoke about renting a vehicle, and drivers rent vehicles. I was on a phone call today. Many people, he's been driving. The driver told me today he's been driving since 2014 and has never got a pay increase. It's always been a paid decrease. He does this to supplement income, but has been driving since 2014. He also made it known that, none of these bonuses are guaranteed to anybody. This is an algorithm that applies the bonuses to certain drivers. So those bonuses are not Those bonuses are not a wage increase. It's a form of driver manipulation, and it psychologically affects the drivers because it makes them think that they're going to get more maybe the next week or maybe the next month. And that more never comes. So I guess we all have to have a conversation of what these bonuses are. It's a manipulative tool that hurts the drivers. And I hope that on March 30th, if people who are going to testify at the hearing, they vote no at the hearing. And if you need to know how to vote no in the hearing, you guys should reach out to one of us on the Facebook groups, contactbidg.org, because it's a battle. It's us against them. And they're using manipulative tactics on the phone, through the app with a virtual manager, because that's what the algorithm is. It's a virtual manager, and it's managing us for Uber and Lyft to make as much profitability as possible. And we're here to stop that. Thank you, Dave, for telling us that. Thank you.
Yeah, like I think that 35-cent to 55-cent driver surcharge is just straight up disrespectful. Like straight up disrespectful. What do you ooh, it's making my blood boil. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I know, like, really, I think it should be a $5 surcharge plus an additional, what's the reimbursement rate? 58.5 cents per mile. I think that's what it needs to be, because they've lowered our pay, especially with Uber. What is it, 5 times? Gas has gone up, as we all know. Rent has gone up, food has gone up, everything has gone up. Our insurance premiums have gone up because there were more accidents during COVID. Everything but our pay, everything but our compensation. And what's so unjust about these bonuses, we know in the Boston Uber and Lyft drivers chat, they only give them to certain drivers. Not all drivers get the same bonuses. How does this company get away with that? Talk about discrimination. Talk about treating drivers unfairly. Like, I'm sick of it. Every time I think I'm going to get back on the saddle and start driving, something else comes up that I'm like, nah, let's raise the prices of the rental cars, while gas is expensive, while the money's getting less and less, while the market is oversaturated. I know some people did well on St. Patrick's Day, and I'm really happy for everyone that was able to capitalize off of that holiday, but not everyone's eating. And I'm like, I want everyone to eat, not just me. I want everyone to be successful. I want everyone to make money. And then they have the nerve to tell us, oh, well, guess what, guys? You can rent a Tesla for us for $300. That's $300 a week before fees. You're talking about probably $400 a week after your fees. And where are you going to charge that Tesla at? Is that free charging included? Do you have a charging station at your house? Like, what's going on? What's the real deal here? What is it? And what happens when gas prices go up to $5, $6, $7 a gallon? They're saying it could go up to $6 a gallon. What happens then? I mean, I know Bezos has a yacht and everything, but does Dara need one too? What about Logan from Lyft? Lyft from Logan, where are you at? What are you guys really, 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 really doing to help the drivers? I don't think it's enough. And I feel most of us drivers feel that they could be doing more. They're already charging drivers whatever the heck they want. Andrew posted how much that driver got charged. Driver got charged over $100 just to go a ride for a few minutes. And it wasn't a mistake. These companies are charging whatever they want to. And that's all good and dandy, but we, the drivers, we're suffering. I was driving since we got 75% of the fare, and a lot of people said, oh, that's what you signed up for. No, it's not what I signed up for. I had to agree to that under duress. They didn't grandfather me in. you know? And so that's, I guess, a good segue into the next topic, which is it's actually the State House testimony on March 30th. And that's about the ballot question. And I know Eric Young, he has been really helpful informing the drivers about this ballot question. I got a text message and I did a survey, and it said, oh, we want your opinion. Are you okay with, this ballot question? If we vote yes for Prop 22, you'll get to keep your job. You'll keep your flexibility. If you vote no on this, that means you want to be an employee. That's not true. It's not accurate. Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, and all these companies, they could pay us as independent contractors. Under state law right now, Eric Young broke it down perfectly. We're not independent contractors. Under the state law, this isn't my opinion, this is the law. We're not independent contractors because we can't set our own prices. When it's gas going as high as Bobby Brown was in the 90s, we can't pass that. We can't pass that increase off to our clients. We can't charge our clients, our passengers, what we want. Uber and Lyft, supposedly, they're quote unquote intermediaries. So they just charge us for finding clients for us. I mean, I'm a truly an independent contractor. I charge my clients what I want. I don't have anyone telling me what I can and can't, what rates I can and can't set, what clients I can and can't take. Nope.
The other thing too, can I interject real quick? So, I was reading about the wage law and the minimum wage law in conjunction with the independent contract. It says under the wage law itself, it says that even if an independent contractor is classified as an independent contractor, they still have to be paid the wage of an employee in addition to their commission. So if you think about this, think about how low your pay is. Everything that Beth is saying right now is 100% accurate. She is the real independent contractor because she owns and operates her business. We don't. We don't own or operate this business. We are just a labor workforce that operates under the title of Uber as a business.
And one thing I also want to say, I need to interject here, Steve. One thing I also want to say is when the legislature in California, said, oh, the drivers are employees, it was really fascinating how quick Uber was able to let the drivers pick if they wanted to charge the passengers up to 5 times the fare. And what did the drivers do? They declined the fares that were what? Quote unquote unprofitable. Because remember, we're independent contractors. We're business owners. I know I'm a business owner. I'm in this to make a profit. I'm not an employee where I'm satisfied with whatever little crumbs the boss wants to give me so they can get a yacht or they can get another private jet. True independent contractors, we set our rates. And that's what this ballot question is about, to take away what little rights we have. They can change that app so we can charge the customers what we want. They did it in California until they passed Prop 22, and they could do it right here, right now. They are operating in this state illegally. And if this ballot question doesn't pass, it's the best thing for the drivers. You know why? Because then they'll be forced to treat us as true independent contractors. And the majority of the drivers want that. About 83% of the drivers want that. And we respect what the majority of our drivers want, because we are Austin Independent, quote unquote, Drivers Guild. Yes,
Beth, can I interject? Can I interject for a second? So you and Steve hit the nail on the head. They actually can give us the tools to be true independent contractors and for us to make our own rates. But they choose not to. And don't forget, once Prop 22 passed in California, they actually took that tool back away once they bought
Yeah.
the election in California. And
It was
this
unbelievable.
company, that's right, this company, the exact same here in Massachusetts. They're spending close to $20 million to make their own rules and regulations. And I believe this is a great campaign for the solidarity campaign to get drivers on board. So, don't listen to a company who gives you something and then takes it back after what they want legislatively. That's just slimy 101.
Yeah, and I mean, Eric Young said it perfectly correctly. Why would you trust the company to do the right thing by us? Because they've been giving it to us not real good, real badly for all these years. So why would you trust them? You think they're to be trusted? The company that slash rates 5 times, that'll deactivate you on a whim on all these false accusations. I don't know if everybody in the Uber Boston Lyft drivers page saw, but Andrew had that dash cam, and he still might have to deal with that passenger falsely accusing him of some BS because they didn't want to follow Uber and Lyft's rules. We have no protections. Our livelihood can be taken at any moment. And we are here, we're here to put a stop to that. We're here to put an end to that. And we want to know, how do you feel about that? Don't fall for the okey doke with Uber and Lyft, because there's more than just the options that they're trying to give you. And the best thing will be, why are they pushing something so hard? If they're pushing something this hard, it's against your interests. It is. It's not good for us. It's bad for us. And we are looking for drivers to actually testify at the State House on March 30th. If you're willing to share that, they cut our pay 5 times, this, that, here, this, that, there. Your legislators want to hear from you. They're looking for your input. Please feel free to write a comment in the chat, to send us a message, because we want your voice heard. You don't want to wait, until it's too late, and then you don't have a voice. This is the opportunity now for your voice to be heard, for you to get involved, to take some action, and to actually do something.
Yes.
Dave?
I think we need some transparency too. They need to show the customers how much the drivers are getting paid versus how much they're paying. And we need some riders to actually share us some information, how much they're paying for the actual trips. Because at one time we could actually see that. Lyft put it out there, and we could see how much the driver was paid and how much the rider paid. And after a very short time, it was taken away. We don't see that anymore. And now we don't even see if we have a long trip. The other day I had a trip from Plymouth all the way to, where did I go? I think I went from Plymouth to Hanson. And I thought I'd end up making a good amount of money, and I think I ended up with only $40 out of it.
That's crazy. Yeah, there really needs to be some transparency. And also, even if a passenger wants to tip, they can only tip a certain amount until they can't tip anymore. I forgot what it is, but they can't tip over a certain percentage of the ride, even if they want to. And you're right.
I'd like to say, Dave, that's a great point of transparency. And these are things, the only way that we can get these from Uber and Lyft is with driver solidarity and a driver movement here in Massachusetts. This is the only way in which we can build a driver organization to fight against $20 million. Your voice needs to be heard. It may be different than mine, may be different than Beth's, it may be different than Dave's and Steve's, but you have a right for your voice to be heard.
Definitely. And a lot of the passengers don't know how little we're getting paid. Like, I just think of poor Andrew. I forgot how much that passenger paid, but it was over $100. And I think he only got paid $4 and some change, less than $5, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But that passenger probably thought he was still getting 75 or 80% of the fare, or even half of that fare. And that's just not what's happening here. And some passengers might not care, but some passengers actually do. A lot of times when I take an Uber or Lyft, a lot of times I try to tip my drivers with cash, because I know how little sometimes they get paid, especially for the deliveries. So I always like to hook my drivers up as a fellow gig worker myself. And so, like I said, we are, we're here. We want, especially, we're looking for drivers to sign up to testify for our legislators, and also please send us, either make a comment and we'll reach out to you, or you feel free to send us a message at BIDG and we'll sign you up to testify, to have your voice be heard. Also, we do have a newsletter, the Big Dig newsletter, and I'm going to put just our website. If you go to our website and, you can sign up for our newsletter to get involved, or just stay up on all things rideshare, what's happening in the gig world, in the rideshare world. Also, too, if you have been deactivated, also take a look at our website, sign up, register. We do try to help the drivers that have been deactivated. We can't promise anything, especially for certain things, certain situations. We hear from the drivers all the time, but we can help. Okay, so we have someone saying, oh, awesome. We have Mr. Ibrahim saying that they're ready to sign. Awesome. So all you gotta do is go to the website again, once again, https://bidg.org, just to sign up and follow everything rideshare. And does anyone have any final comments before we end for tonight? We're going to do the good of the order. Does anyone have any final comments that they'd like to share with us?
Yeah, if anyone's unfamiliar with Prop 22, please Google it. You'll see exactly what we're talking about, and you'll understand exactly what this fight and why it's so important that we all get together and fight this, because it's not going to look pretty, and there's a reason why it was deemed unconstitutional in the state of California. We're also doing the same here in Massachusetts, because BIDG and many other driver groups are doing everything we can to fight for your rights, protect your rights, and to help enforce the law by all of us getting together and having a voice.
Okay.
Well
awesome.
said, Steve. Well
Thank
said.
you.
Well said. Thank you, Steve.
Yes, well said, Steve.
Okay. Does anyone have any final thoughts?
I'm good. Just walking the dogs.
Just want to say thank you to everybody who is listening, who's going to see this stream. We repost this stream. You can always reach out to the Boston Independent Drivers Guild, bidg.org. Someone will reach out to you. And thank you so much for being part of this this dialogue of drivers helping drivers.
Yes, and for our next live stream that we're having, we know we have a lot of new drivers, so we're actually gonna do like a tax tips live stream just to help our fellow rideshare drivers out. That's what's on the agenda for our next live stream. Stay tuned for it. And we're also going to be sending out our March Madness newsletter. It's going to be packed with a whole bunch of things in there, a whole bunch of resources in the community, a whole bunch of knowledge that is going to be going out. That'll be distributed tomorrow. So please stay tuned for that. There's going to be, a lot of educational opportunities, work opportunities for you, your family, your friends, job opportunities, grants, things of that nature. And so I motion for us to adjourn the meeting. Does anyone second that motion?
I'll second it.
Second.
Okay. So good night, everyone. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate you, each and every one of you. If you have anything you want to contact us, reach out for anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay.
Solidarity.
Solidarity.